welcome To Your Health, and we are so fortunate today to have Dr. Donovan Kendrick, a neurosurgeon and Chief Medical Officer with the Baptist Health System, with us today. You have a lot of questions out there, everybody does, about the vaccine. Do you take it? Don't you take it? You need to know something about it, and where do you sign up to be able to get vaccinated? And Dr. Kendrick, you're the expert, and you've been dealing with this since March of last year. So give us some guidance and answer some of the questions that our audience has.
Well, what I hear from a lot of people is that they're worried about getting the vaccine. They're not going to get it for various reasons. There's all kinds of false information on the internet about it. However, every single person needs to get the vaccine for two reasons. First of all, because we know that it's effective. It helps to prevent people from getting sick. The studies for both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine showed about a 95% efficacy. So about 95% of people will not get sick if they get the virus. The second reason for getting it, though, is everybody's heard about this herd immunity and so forth, and it's a little hard to understand. But with people not getting sick and more people not getting sick, hopefully this virus, at least the current strain, will eventually go away. The vaccines are completely safe. I've heard people say, well, I don't want to get the virus from getting the vaccine. And that comes because some of our virus vaccines in the past have been from what we call attenuated viruses or killed virus, and actually used real virus to make the vaccine. These vaccines were chemically made replicating the RNA on the spike protein that the coronavirus has. And so your body thinks, oh, I'm recognizing that RNA, it must be the virus, let me form an immune reaction. You cannot get the virus from getting the vaccine. I've heard all kinds of other things that just are not true, that it used fetal embryo cells from aborted fetuses and so forth. That is absolutely not true. This was chemically made in a lab, putting various chemicals together to replicate the RNA in that spike protein. Now, there are some people that have a mild reaction. Roughly 30% can have a mild reaction. It seems to occur after the second vaccine more often, but it's so mild. I have a friend that had the reaction. It was a mild headache and just some fatigue. It lasted for 24 hours and it was over. That is no reason not to get the second vaccine, because the Pfizer vaccine, you have to have 2 shots.
Right.
One, and then 21 days later another. The Moderna vaccine is 1 and then 28 days later. The real immunity starts to happen after the second vaccine. So that second vaccine is incredibly important. And you don't have to worry about getting terribly ill. It's a little bit like having maybe a mild case of the flu for 24 hours and then it's over.
That's a short period of time, and you're talking just a couple of days or a day and a half.
Right.
From most of the people that I've talked to. Right. I have been asked, on the first vaccine, do you have any immunity after the first vaccine? There seems to be some confusion on that.
Everyone is different. We know that after the first, most people would have some immunity. But that brings up a good point, because just because you've had the vaccine, even both doses, you still need to wear a mask, practice social distancing, do hand hygiene, avoid being around crowds or people that aren't in your immediate home. Because what we don't know about the vaccine is whether or not you can still get it, have it in your nose, and shed it, spread it to other people, even though you've had both doses of the vaccine. So it does protect you from getting sick if you get it, but it may not protect you from giving it to other people.
Wow.
We had a meeting last week, and I walked in a little bit late as always. And there were two people in the meeting standing a foot apart without their mask on. And I said, guys, where's your mask? You need to put a mask on. And one of them said, well, I've already had the virus and recovered, so I'm immune. I don't have to worry about it. And the other said, well, I've had the shots and vaccines, so I don't need to worry about it. And I had to explain to them how they could still be spreading that virus, even though they had had the illness and the shots. And so it's incredibly important for people to realize getting the shot really changes nothing in what we've done in the last few months as far as our behavior.
As far as our behavior. So let me be sure that I understand. I can get both the shots, but I still could have the virus and be able to give it to somebody else, but I wouldn't be sick.
Exactly.
Okay, so.
Although it's 95%.
Right, well, there's that 5%.
Right, there's 1 in 20 people that can still get sick from it.
Well, let's real quickly tell us how we can go about getting the vaccine. That's a major important question.
Sure. The first place I would look would be the Alabama Department of Public Health's website.
Okay.
They actually have a map and a list of places all over the state where people can get the vaccine. So regardless of where you live across central Alabama, you can find a place near you on their website that gives the vaccine. They also have a number to call. Now, it's incredibly busy right now, and so it might take a while. You may have to call over and over and over again to get in, to get set up for the vaccine. Most places, you don't want to have what we've seen on TV in Florida and California and places where there are long lines of people. Call, make your appointment, and then go in. And that's because of a lot of reasons, not just because we don't want people to wait, but the vaccine has to be handled very carefully. It has a very short shelf life. And so we have to know who's coming and when they're coming so that we can make sure and protect the vaccine as well.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we'll have the number for you to call for the Baptist Health System on the screen. Call. You may have to continue hitting that call back button. It's worth it. It's better than being on a ventilator, people. Thank you for being with us, and thank you, Dr. Kendrick. We appreciate it, and we'll be right back.